riding bros and unicorns. In this video here, I'm going to show or just talk about a little bit passing people. I got this question from I believe it was Superbike Jake on Instagram, and his question was, what are the things that I think about and how do I approach passing people? So, I'm not the greatest person at passing in the world. I mean, I still have a lot to learn. I'll just go over my thought process and some of the things that I think about when trying to pass people. Of course, the biggest thing when passing someone is to pass them safely. So a lot of times when I want to pass someone, I try not to be too eager unless I see a really obvious opening. I want to make sure that I follow them for a little while, for a few corners, and figure out their patterns and what they do, how they enter or how they exit corners. And after a few corners, trying to figure them out, go ahead and capitalize and go ahead and pass them as safely as I see fit. Pass the guy on the outside. That's usually the easiest pass to do and the safest pass to do. Inside pass can be very dangerous just because you don't know if the person's going to turn in quickly on you. It's easier for you getting on the power to go on the outside of someone versus trying to go on the inside of them and then getting on the power to make sure you pass them, and then your bike naturally starts to go wide, of course, because you're getting on the power. So outside passes are safer than inside passes. So here I'm catching up to some traffic, and with catching up to this traffic here, that's my buddy up there in front of me on the S1000 also. He has a very hard time with passing people too, and that's why he is faster than these riders here, but he just has a very hard time trying to pass people. Bad about trying to pass people is because he says he feels like a jerk whenever he passes someone. And so when it comes to passing people, you do kind of have to be a little bit of a jerk, or at least that's what kind of the way it's perceived, I guess, in your mind, because you're flying by someone, which seems pretty aggressive. But in order to make sure that you do it safely, as long as you're not too close to the person, everything's all right. As long as they say once you get to advanced group, you're pretty much dealing with racers, and racers shouldn't be afraid by being passed too closely. It's very hard to pass multiple people, and usually the easiest way to pass someone is very hard to predict what somebody's going to do to pass them up in a corner. And so the easiest way to try and pass someone is to outbrake them at the end of a straight. So a lot of times people are a lot of riders, they are very good. They're very good at the technique that they employ to riding and cornering, but they just don't trust 100%. I mean, I'm not sure if any rider, no rider is perfect, so I don't know if any rider trusts 100% everything about the bike and about themselves. So first you look at yourself. You have to be able to trust your cornering ability. Make sure that if you do outbrake someone or come into a corner hot, that you're going to be able to make that corner and not go off track. You have to be able to trust your bike's capabilities, its braking capabilities, and then you also have to trust your tires that you have. The tires nowadays are really great, extremely good, and the bikes nowadays with traction control and everything are extremely good. So really it's just getting past your own fears and being able to push a little bit more than the next guy or lady. Here I'm following everyone. I'm behind, so it's kind of hard to pass a big line of people. But I'm following them, trying to figure out the pattern. Plus, it's my buddy. Of course, I just want to make sure I'm safe. This is a track day, it's not a race. And so I believe here I outbrake my buddy, and I pass him going into this corner, and where I actually make a mistake right here. I tried to pass that guy on the inside, and I shouldn't have done that. And because of that, I should have anticipated that he's going to come in tight like that to make the corner, and it could have been a bad mistake right there. If we would have collided, that would have been all my fault. And so what you didn't see right there, because it was blocked by my front fairing, is the guy actually, he noticed that I was there, and he waved to me, thinking that it was his fault. And right there, I just gave him a thumbs up, just to kind of give him a polite, signal that it's okay. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault, and I hope he's all right. And I believe I passed him on the outside right here. So yeah, I go into the corner quicker than him, and on the gas longer than him, and pass on the outside. I know a lot of people hug that corner there. They like to hug on the inside. Ken Hill, I like to listen to Ken Hill's podcasts a lot, and he speaks about what people, when it comes to cornering and coming from a straight and going into corners, people want to stay away from what they are afraid of. So what a lot of people tend to do is they either turn in too early, or when they are in a corner, they stay and hug the inside, rather than you can have a much better line around some corners. If you go towards the middle of the corner or the outside, or make a V shape, you don't always have to hug the inside of the corner. Right there, during that back straight there, I just stayed on the grass longer and passed those guys there. Now coming up to this corner here, I'm trying to follow this guy and figure out his pattern and how I can pass him, and I can't really see any way to pass him safely. So I believe I wait once again for the straight before I actually go ahead and pass, I believe, these two riders right here, the guy in the blue and yellow and the blue and white. I just coming up to the bridge. That's the typical braking point for Thunderhill East, and they braked a little bit early, so I just braked a little bit later than them to go ahead and pass them. Going through here on the front straight. This is where I got a little sketched out. I probably could have passed this guy in enough time before turn one, but I didn't want to risk it, especially with the guy coming on to an outlap. Make sure he was all right. I tried to pass him here in turn two, but I started to go wide, so I did back off a little bit here. And then I went ahead and tried to pass him, but he got on the gas nice and hard, so that's good. It's nice. And then I guess he probably noticed me, so for some reason he went extremely wide right here. I don't know why he went extremely wide, so I just went ahead and passed him. And then from him going extremely wide like that, that was strange to me, so it kind of threw me off into turn 5 right here, where I actually almost went off right here. Yeah, I did a little stopping and almost went off, and that shocked me. Regained my composure and went into the corner. So, there's a couple more minutes left in this video, and I can't remember if I really run into anybody else to be able to pass, but I'll just kind of talk about, my thought process of going around this beautiful 5-mile track, Thunderhill East and West combined. It was a great day. And once again, I know I'm not the best, not the greatest rider, but this was just a great day. I'm not sure what was going on, but this is in the A group, advanced group, and I was one of the faster guys out there, which I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was kind of wondering if something was wrong with other riders that day, to be honest. I know I'm decent, but I didn't think I was, going to be doing that well against the other riders there that day. So, just going around here. Being that guy seemed like he was doing pretty good in turn 2. I figured that he was a pretty similar skill level as me. So I thought he was behind, like right behind me. So I took a quick look right there, looked back to see if he was right behind me to make sure that I wasn't holding him up or anything if he was faster than me in certain sections of the track. There was nobody there, so since there was nobody there, I went ahead and decided to have a little bit of fun right here. I usually like to ride with my traction control on, especially for a track day. And I turned my traction control off right here just so I could have a little bit of power wheelie fun right there. And turn it back on, prepare for this next corner. I absolutely love the 5 mile track. I don't know what it is about it. The AFM, we only, as far as Thunderhill is concerned, only run the 3 mile east side. But I really love the 2 mile west side. It's very fun. That was the track that I did my first track day ever at, so it flows really nice in the reverse configuration, which is, when we come on and combine the two, that is, it's not the reverse configuration, it's the forward configuration, but the reverse configuration of the west side really flows really nicely, and I like it a lot. Very fun track doing the 5 mile. A lot to remember once you memorize all the corners. It's great, lots of fun. So I had my time with that session and went ahead and decided to come in and take a break. So that's my thought process when coming up to pass people. It's usually either out-braking them or passing them on the outside. And or if you're going to decide to try and pass them on the inside, make sure that you have enough space and timing to be able to do that. So whereas when they have the track when they're in front of you, they don't see you behind them. Make sure that you can pass them enough time before they turn in.